Hey everyone, we are the Gratitude Girls.
The Gratitude Girls are in the house. Hi, Laurie. How are you?
Hi, Katherine. I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. I was just thinking as I was saying that if we record outside, then could we still say we're in the house?
Right?
Well, it's really fun to be here. I love the topic that we're talking about right now. It just seems to be one of those topics that sometimes you don't want to tell anybody that it happens, but then it's one of the topics that you really have to talk to someone about. The topic tonight that we're going to train on is, have you ever been ghosted? I'll introduce myself first for those of you who do not know me or my partner. My name is Katherine, Sarah Meyers, affectionately known as Rara's in the House. I'm broadcasting to you live tonight from lovely Niagara on the Lake, Ontario, Canada. And I'm here with my amazing partner.
And I am Laurie Delcradecki, and I am outside of Nashville, Tennessee.
So we are an international call. You can be ghosted from anywhere in the world. Has it happened, right? And then do you want to tell anyone, or are you sort of afraid to say that someone ghosted you? So Laurie, has it happened to you? It's happened to me. The beauties of being live with technology. See, you can be ghosted for no apparent reason. It can just be technology. It's not even that somebody intends to. So what happens when you're ghosted, right? You're having sort of a one-way conversation. Maybe you're not having complete engagement, or you think you are, and then suddenly that other person goes away. It's not like you're having sort of an argument with one of your children and then they decide to give you the cold shoulder. We're not talking about that. Not that our children do that to us, but we're talking about not a family feud, not a feud at all, but someone who just suddenly it goes away. And you think, well, gee, they were a perfect prospect. They were just about to make a decision, and suddenly they're not there. Sometimes people are shy. Sometimes they don't want to tell you that they're not interested. So they tell you what they think you want to hear. And if you don't take a breath and stop talking and give them a chance to speak, you're creating the stories of your mind. Right, Laurie?
Right. Yeah. And yeah, I apologize for my internet, but for whatever reason it's going out, and where I'm at, I'm not hardwired in, and I can't be right now. So, but yes, yeah, it's so there's a lot of different reasons, and it could be that like what Katherine said, like you're not listening, you're not giving them a chance to allow them to explain or tell you the truth. Or maybe you're not asking enough questions or the right questions, right? Or you're just kind of coming at them with that kind of commission breath that, nobody likes, right? And so like, or if you walk in the store, like the old saying goes, if you're walking down the Walmart aisle and somebody else sees you and they turn the other way, well, it's probably because you have that commission breath, right? And so just talk to people like as a person, get to know them. If it's if it helps people, like health wise, find what their issues and genuinely ask them to help them, rather than, okay, well, I want to sell you this, so but yet they don't have any need for any of those benefits.
Right. I understood every point you made. If anyone's not sure because of the internet connection, just call us. We'll explain it. But I was talking to someone today, and here's what I was making a reference to. When you water your garden, sometimes you have automatic irrigation systems, and sometimes you have a good old-fashioned hose. So whatever you do, you look at your flowers and you wonder, does that herb need more water? Do those roses need less water? And you go at your flowers. Imagine that your phone was your hose. And if you went at your friends and prospects with that hose full force, as if you were going to water them because they looked like they needed it, it might be okay. But if you go at someone with your phone full force and they're really not needing it or wanting it, well, you could in fact break the plant or flower. You could damage it. You might be, maybe you could kill it. I don't know, but you certainly could get it to not want you to be around it. So ghosting would be a sense of going at someone. If you were going to sprinkle your garden with water and you hit full force and you did that with your cell phone, that would be a good reason to have someone ghost you, because you're not reading them. So if you do garden, it's a great time of year to do that. If you look at your flowers, if you have a landscaper gardener company, you will make comments about that looks great, that could look better. Do that with the people around you. Think of them as beautiful, strong statement flowers that are fragile yet strong. Meaning, you can break people, you can get them to go away, or you can empower them. It's really up to you. And if people are ghosting you, you're probably hosing them down too much.
Right. Yeah. And always try to think, like they say, treat people the way you want to be treated. Right. So think about if the shoe was on the other foot and they were selling that to you, and how you're talking to them. Is that the way that you would want to be talked to? Is that the way you prefer someone to sell to you? Or, are you the type like when you go into a clothing store, that is commission based, right? And, so they're like hounding you, or they say, oh, your butt looks so cute in those jeans, and it doesn't, right? But that they're just trying to make the sale. Then it's, you're just like, just leave me alone. Let me look. I'm just looking, right? You just cut them off. I'm just looking. And so that's what those people are doing, right? They're ghosting you by they're saying, I'm just looking, because they can feel that of you not genuinely caring, right? But that you're just wanting to make the sale, where you can make the sale and there's nothing wrong with making a sale and making money and paying your bills off sales of whatever product or service that you sell. There's nothing wrong with that. But the wrong comes in when that's all you're in it for, is that, not in it to really genuinely help them.
Laurie, you just made me think about something. If we were golfers and if we were playing 21 holes and we got up at whatever time we got up in the morning and we get on that golf course and we decide that we're going to build a relationship with the people we're playing with, and we have 21 holes, we are not going to push it at hole 1, 2, or 3, because we've got all day to do that. So if you think of the long game, think of the long-term relationship building. If in the first 10 minutes you're telling people you want me to send you information, you're losing them at hole 2 and 3, and you've got 21 to go. So pace yourself. And if you want someone to have information and they don't ask you, there's boundaries and there's permission that we should really be receiving. And when we're crossing boundaries because we think it's a good idea, well, if nobody asked us, hey, what do you think? Then maybe we shouldn't be given our opinion.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And, I just thought of something too. This person messaged me a couple days ago, and I've known this person for over 20 years, and I would count them as a friend. But in the last 20 years, about once a year, maybe once every 2 years, they message me, and it might say, hey, how have you been doing? But within 2 sentences, there is oh, you need to hear about this new thing that I found, or some other way of saying that same thing, right? And literally, at least 10 times over the last 20 years, I've heard it, and probably more. But that's it. But I never hear from them between those times, right? Unless I initiate it. But if I don't initiate it, when they initiate it, it's always because they've found some new thing. And that's the only time they think to contact me.
And that's why I love campaign cards and send out cards. Because we look like rock stars when we remember people's birthdays. There's something to be said for really understanding what people do and when they're born and when they celebrate, if they celebrate birthdays or anniversaries or congratulations on your rank advancement, or whatever it is, on a baby, your new puppy. If we're not really talking to people about their life and we're only talking to them about the thing that's attached to a transaction, it's not warm, it's not fuzzy. So I think we've made the point. Now, let me ask you a question before we go. What do you do? What's your behavior when somebody pushes too hard? I have to think about what I do, but it's happened, right? People have pushed us.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I do. I usually quit replying back, essentially ghost them, right? Because you might reply back a few times and be nice and sweet or whatever. But yeah, when they continue pushing, then it just fine, whatever, or and it's funny you said that too, because the same person, like the last comment they said to me when I politely declined them again, said, do you not think that it's important to have multiple streams of income? So anyway, but yeah, and so that's it. You just find a reason. Either you say something, someone might end up saying something rude, or they just politely try to step away, or yeah, they just don't reply anymore. Just flat out ghost you because they don't have anything nice to say.
Well, I like what you said. If somebody is pushing me, really pushing me for something that's one-sided, I will have a conversation. Maybe it's a text conversation, but I would like to have the conversation and ask, is it really important for me to answer you right now? And is there anything else to discuss? Because if I give you a no, does that mean that we no longer have a relationship? And I'm willing to put that on the line because no, I'm not interested. Now, where does it go from there? And then I see how people feel, because sometimes they're uncomfortable, like, oh, well, if you don't want my candles, then you don't want me as a friend. And if that's what they want to think, then, that's okay. But I will open the conversation with if I tell you exactly how I feel, what happens. And if they don't look like they're negotiable because they're just not that kind of person, I will ghost them. I will, because I just really don't want to get into a moral, ethical issue about my integrity because I'm not interested in that thing.
Right. Yeah. And we don't have to be interested in everything that somebody sells, right? And the same thing, not everyone's interested in what we sell. But on that same note, if we just keep the relationship and build on the friendship, whether they ever become interested, which they might one day down the road, their things in their life changes and they become interested, or they refer other people because they know other people, right? But that's because we didn't burn that bridge and because we genuinely cared about the relationship and we built the relationship with the person.
Right. I love that, what you just said. And I hope that our audience really grasp that part, stop at this point in the video and replay it. Because if you're there for someone and their situation changes and their circumstances change, they'll remember that you were there for them and they'll come back and they might, in fact, want to know more. They might be ready, or they might know someone else who really appreciates the fact that you didn't push. So be kind. Like Laurie said, my mom used to tell me this, treat others as you would like others to treat you. So think about that. I think Laurie has a little internet glitch right now. Being hardwired is really important. So when you're not in your own Wi-Fi, this goes on. We get it. I got you back. So if you're thinking about this, who ghosted you? Who did you ghost? There are ways to make amends too. You can always revisit that. You can always go back in and knock on the door and take the temperature. And we can talk more about that follow-up after being ghosted. So maybe we can do that at our next training. Laurie, if you have anything else to say, I love what you said tonight. And I'm going to take notes and watch this again.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you have any comments, post them below this video right here. Make sure to rate us, review us, follow us on all social media. We will list all our links below. And if you have something that you want us to train on next, send us a message too. Go to facebook.com/gratitudegirls and make sure to send us a message there. And also watch all our past shows. Also go to gratitudegirls.com. You can see all of our past shows for the last 13 years.
Wow.
Right?
That's amazing.
Talk to you next week, everyone. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.